what's been on my mind. Sick and tired of the night.
Alright, so I'm going to make tonight one of our favorite Instapot recipes. It's actually a slow cooker or a top of the stove recipe, but I do it in the Instapot and find it to be really simple and easy. So basically, for ingredients, you're going to have a pound of Italian sausage without the casings, mild and or spicy. We mix it up, we do one of each, because 2 pounds of spicy is a little too spicy and 2 pounds of mild is too mild. So we do one of each. You're going to quarter up and then thinly slice a yellow onion, and you're going to have some peppers, and these I mix it up red, yellow, and orange, one of each. You're going to need about 18 ounces of diced tomatoes, some white wine just to deglaze your kettle, some white mushrooms, about 16 ounces. So 1.5 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon of salt, and as much, about a teaspoon, usually half to a full teaspoon of the chili peppers, red peppers, but you can do that to taste. And this is called Sausages and Peppers Arrabbiata. I said that so wrong because it's supposed to be Italian. Basically, it translates to angry sausage and peppers because that's what that last word meant, angry in Italian. So it's spicy, that's all. So anyway, we're going to start by browning up our sausage with our onions and our garlic, about 3 teaspoons of garlic, or 3 minced garlic, however you do it. I do it already pre-minced. We do it the easy way around here. So alright, we're going to saute all that together, and then we'll add all the rest of the ingredients, and then we'll let it just go in the pressure cooker Instapot. And I usually just pick the one that says meat. We're going to start by hitting the saute button, let that get kind of a little warmed up while I get the sausage ready to go in there. Alright, so I've sauteed the meat with the onions and the garlic in the slow cooker, in the Instapot. So here's one thing that differs from the regular recipe and how I do it. In the regular recipe, you would brown the meat in a saucepan. You would add the meat to the slow cooker. Then you would deglaze the saucepan, let it simmer for a while to get some of those juices reduced down. Then you would add the juices into the slow cooker with the meat. I don't find that to be terribly necessary. Since I have y'all watching, I'm going to do a little bit of that. So you want to get the meat out of there, but leaving as much juice as you can in there, or fat, I guess it is, really. And we're going to go ahead and take out the meat and onions. And what we'll have left is all that juicy fat. And I'll add the half a cup of white wine to deglaze, though in an Instapot, deglazing isn't really necessary, but then I'll let it simmer so that it does reduce down some of this liquid. And then we'll add back in the meat and everything else, and then we will Instapot it. Is that a verb? It is now. Alright, so I just poured in half a cup of the white wine, and I'm deglazing, though as I mentioned, it doesn't really ever brown up that much that I have to worry about deglazing. So I'll let that reduce down. In a pot and a pan, you would do it for about 5 minutes. So we'll see what happens in the next few minutes. And then we'll add back in our meat, our mushrooms, our peppers, and our spices, and our tomatoes. So in the tomatoes, it calls for 18 ounces. It calls for a jar of 18 ounces diced. Can't find it anywhere, hardly ever. So I just do a 14-ounce diced can and then add a little bit more from another can and use the rest of that in scrambled eggs or something the next day. Alright, so we've deglazed. We're going to add back in our meat. This way. We're adding peppers, the mushrooms, the spices, and about 18 ounces of diced peppers.
Peppers?
Tomatoes. I said peppers. Sorry. So, tomatoes. Make sure I have some good sauce in there, because as you know, the Instapot needs its liquid. Mix all that up. There you go. So, and then we're going to get the top. Cover it up. Make sure I've got that on the lock. And just hit the beat button, which will go for about 20-25 minutes, generally speaking.
Steam or no steam?
No, I closed it up so it'll pressurize. And then we'll vent it at the end. And we'll let that go and have dinner. Now this is, the great thing about this recipe is it's gluten-free for those of you that need it to be gluten-free. And generally speaking, we do it gluten-free and have it over either gluten-free pastas, or it's really good if you do it over like zucchini spirals or sweet potato spirals that you can either do yourself or you can buy them at the grocery store. That's usually how we do it. We didn't find any at this grocery store. We're in a kind of small town, so no fresh vegetable spirals, and so we're probably going to do it over pasta tonight. So we'll see. All right, so there you go. We did some pasta, and then we put some of the sausage and peppers on top. You might have some shaved Parmesan you want to put on top of there. Some fresh basil or fresh parsley can look very pretty. Really just anything you normally would top something like this for having a tasty dinner. And there you go, done in about 30 minutes.
We only get one life, I wanna